Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I'm going to take advantage of the last kitchen time session and actually follow this through now, because it's something that's going to crop up, and doing it in bits and bobs doesn't do the job. So we've taken a plant that looked pretty good and pretty healthy. We found out that it was infected with Fusarium, yeah, and basically the plant was cut up to the new parts of the plant, which didn't seem as badly infected as the older part. The little purple ring wasn't as bright or as dominant as it was in the older part, but nonetheless I've now got some pieces that are here. So before everybody asks and says, what do you use? That's what I'm using, on the grounds that in the UK there is next to nothing else. So it's that or not, really. The other stuff that's around is feeble in comparison. This is a good systemic fungicide. Okay, it comes as a concentrate like that. Faffing about with the special measuring bit and the lid, I usually do once or twice, at which point I get annoyed and I just get a pair of pliers and pull the special gadget out of the neck of the bottle and measure it separately in a little container. This is very efficient cost-wise, because although you can get a ready-made spray, I don't want a spray. Spray's no good to do that. I need liquid, yeah? So this stuff is better for that because it mixes up. Now that's quite a small container. It's only 125 ml, and it's not that cheap to buy, but it's 5 ml per litre of water. So it lasts, okay? So that's the pieces of the Miltonia Sunset that are getting an overnight soak, basically, and then I'll sort those out and get them in a pot tomorrow. That'll be a separate video. And also tomorrow I'm going to take advantage this time. I've been very sloppy on treating plants this year. I've been battling with the heat instead. So a few bugs have got out of hand, and various other things, as we saw with the Miltonia Sunset. So yesterday I watered all my ones that need to stay continuously moist in the main. So that's the Paphiopedilums, Restrepias, Masdevallias, Miltoniopsis, although they're going to get separated out because of the type of plant they are, and my Draculas. So that lot was done. The holy clay pots, unfortunately, I watered today, so they've just been done. But all of my other pots are due to be watered. So tomorrow I'm going to mix up a bucket full of that, and instead of actually watering the plants, I'm going to stand them in the bucket. Now that does mean some of the bark will float off and I'll have to replace it. Tough. I need to get a treatment that I know is the best treatment I can do. So tomorrow we're going to go bucket dunking. So obviously that's going to use a fair bit of that liquid to mix it up at the right strength for whatever the bucket holds, probably 6, 7, 8 litres, something like that. So it's going to use a fair bit of it. But these are repeat treatments. Once the stuff's mixed up in the bucket, it can be used over and over again, and as many pots as I like can go in there, but it will gradually use it up, because obviously the media is going to soak in a fair bit of it, so gradually the level in the bucket will go down. But I'll pick that up tomorrow and we'll go from there. But if you find a plant that's infected and you're preparing to give it a go and try and see if you can get the plant to grow clean, then that's the first thing that I recommend doing. Because just spraying the leaves, although it's a systemic fungicide and it will move around the plant when it gets in there, I don't think it gets enough in the plant. Yeah, you have to bear in mind Fusarium bungs up the pathways in the plant. So this is in the hope that not all the roots are bunged up, and some of these really fine rooted Oncidium types, I think that's why they get away with it and they can live through it to a degree, because their roots are so fine. I don't think they actually get as bunged up as the big fleshy ones like on Cattleyas. So it's only a theory, you know. I'm not going to dissect them all and try and work it out in a laboratory, because I can't. But all I can do is think that by soaking that overnight, it'll have had a good 12 hours sat in that liquid, as much of that liquid as possible has got into the base of that plant, into the rhizome, into the base of the roots and into the base of the pseudobulbs. And then I will spray the leaves, top and bottom, good soaking, and get as much in through that way as possible. But I start at the bottom and then come in through the top. And then when it dries off so that I can handle it, we'll get it in a pot. But we'll follow this one through. Now it's a long project because obviously these new growths have got to grow on, hoping they do. And it's going to be some time before I ever get this plant, or pieces of plants, out of the pot again to be able to recut a rhizome. So I won't be able to tell if it's been cured. But hopefully, providing the new growths push on and subsequent new growths push on with nice healthy root systems, get back to blooming size, it's a sort of proof. But the only true way of telling is to cut a rhizome, really. So we'll follow this one through now. I've got a nice start point. It was a surprise. I discovered it. Now I'm giving its first treatment, and we'll just follow this plant through now. So this one's now earmarked. Miltonia Sunset is now a special case. And I'll follow this one through. If it takes a couple of years, I'm just going to keep coming back, and I'll set up a separate playlist you know, for the Miltonia Sunset's progress, and we'll see how we go with it. There'll be lots of other plants that are going to get treated and stuff, but I'll just, as this one sort of re-sparked my interest in this, if you can call it an interest, I thought we'll follow this one through, and we'll follow this one through quite regularly. We'll see how those new growths progress, see what happens with the next lot of roots, see if I get a good spike if it blooms again. I don't think the next set of new growths will be allowed to bloom, even if they wanted to, because obviously I've got 3 pieces now. There's only 2 bulbs on each piece, plus the new growth when it grows. So I want to get some strength back into these pieces. But we'll see how we go. And if you don't like all this sort of thing, I'll make sure that the videos have got like a marker on them so that people who don't like watching that sort of thing can just not watch. Because if you don't like a certain subject, it's probably annoying to get part way through and find out that you didn't really want to watch that video. So that way those that are interested can follow it, those that are not can just watch other things. There's plenty of other stuff around to watch. So we'll see how we go. See you next time.